Welcome to the Chic Show. Today I'm crafting my stash and making some trash to treasures. Our lovely hosts today are DIY with Aria, Lowly D's Creations, and Lady Red Crafting. Their channels and the playlist are in the description box below. I've had this wood frame from Dollar Tree in my stash for a while, so I'm going to give it a coat of Waverly chalk paint in pumpkin. This is a stencil I got from Chalk Couture, but you could use any stencil that you like. And I'm also going to be using this bright pink folk art acrylic paint. I'm just using an old key card for a hotel room, and I'm going to use that to apply the paint on the stencil. If you're careful with this, it does work fine. It's not as thick as chalk paste, but it works fine for me. I'm just working in sections, so once I have it applied to the top, I'm going to remove the stencil and then place it on the next section. I placed it at the bottom and then I let that dry a little bit before I worked on the sides, and I did cover up the top and the bottom of the stencil so that I only had those middle sections for the two side sections. I set this aside to dry, and then this project was finished. I found this pattern at a thrift store and I really liked the packaging on it, so I wanted to be able to use it in some kind of a project. And today is the day. These are some fabulous outfits that I absolutely love, so I'm going to cut out the first lady on the package. I'm not only using the packaging, I'm also going to be using part of the actual pattern. And I have a piece of cardstock here that I'm going to use as well. I'm making a bookmark. And I'm going to cut the pattern to fit the bookmark, and then I'm going to apply some Mod Podge to the cardstock. Now I'm just going to apply that strip of the pattern to the Mod Podge. Once that's in place, I'm going to take my lady and I'm also going to apply her to the top of the pattern. I did cut around part of the lady, more of a detailed cut, and then the left side I did leave straight because I did want to see some of that original packaging. Now I'm going to go back and trim off all the excess paper. To seal and protect the front, I'm going to go over it with another coat of Mod Podge. I ordered this little corner punch from Amazon, and it just gives a nice finish to something like this because it rounds the corners for you. So I'm just going to use that on all four corners. And then I'll use a hole punch for the center of the top. I had this little tassel piece that I removed off of something at some point, so I'm going to be using a little bit more jute twine to feed through there and tie that to the top of my bookmark. Once I had that twine fed through the tassel, I'm going to be adding a few of these really small wood beads. Going to add the tassel to the top, and I got it a little too long the first time, so I cut it off and retied it. I wonder how many times we have overlooked patterns at a thrift store. This is kind of a trash to treasure project here. I've had this tin can in my stash for a while. I find myself collecting way too many of these, so I decided I needed to go ahead and use it. And as you can see, I have removed one end of the can, but not the other. And I'm kind of squeezing that open end so that it has more of a spout to it. I'm going to be applying this decoupage paper by Roycycle and a little bit of this decoupage from Dollar Tree. I just used a little brush and that decoupage, and I brushed it all over the can, and then I applied the decoupage paper in sections. As you can see, I did leave one end a little bit longer because I am going to be tucking that down into the top part of the can. As I apply the decoupage paper, I am using a little bit of saran wrap just to kind of smooth it out so that there are no wrinkles. And then I just continued in this manner all the way around the can until it was completely covered. Now what to do with the top of that can. I'm going to be applying some of that decoupage medium inside the can, and then I'm just going to be folding down the top of that paper. I then applied another coat of that decoupage medium to the inner lip. Now our little can needs a handle, so this is the handle that I got from a garage sale, and I'm going to be using some Gorilla Glue to apply it to the can. Once I had the handle in place, I used a couple of these rubber bands to hold it still for it to dry overnight. I think this can would be adorable with a little plant in it, but I just used it for some desk essentials. For the last project today, I'm going to be marrying together two pieces that I had in my stash. One is this little candle cup, and I'm going to be painting it gold. I started with just this kind of brown colored paint to paint over the blue to give it a base color, and then I'll be using some rub and buff on it a little bit later. Now that the paint has dried, I'm using a little brush and some gold rub and buff, and I'm just going to be brushing that all around the candlestick. This is a little saucer that I thrifted along with a teacup, but the teacup broke, so I thought we would marry these two pieces together. So I'm going to be using some more of that Gorilla Glue. I'm going to apply that to the bottom of the candle cup and then place it on the saucer and let it sit overnight. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Be sure and check out our host channels along with the playlist in the description box below. Here's another video I think you might like. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.